We have the longest injury list we've ever had since being here. Continues to grow, and I think that's a trend across college football. You very rarely hear me talk about our guys being injured or, woe is me. I don't think it's something you can control. We practice how we practice, and for a couple of years we've been very fortunate not to have many injuries, and I always hear about this from other teams. I know Shane had a lot at South Carolina. We got to be very resourceful as coaches in how we use the players we do have. Kirby Smart, Matt DeBerry, on Monday. This is a thing that's very serious right now. I mean, I don't think it could derail Georgia's season, but it could cost them championships, and it's a problem.
Yeah, it could cost them one game. I don't know what game that could be, whether it's the Gators, who look okay up in Knoxville for Tennessee. You just don't want it to continue going out of control, because right now they are a beat-up team, especially at running back. Now, no offense to Cash Jones, but if Cash Jones is running the football, you've got some injuries at running back. Maybe your best receiver still hasn't played this year. Arguably the best defender you have, not named Malachi Starks, Devon Bullard, is out. Don't think he's going to play this week. It's starting to really, get going. And we know Georgia practices hard. We make videos on that. They get after it. They compete. They work hard. And when you practice as hard as they do, day in and day out, you're going to have some injuries. They haven't had injuries at quarterback, but they've had some at, now you got Amarius Mims out at right tackle. Doesn't look like he's coming back. But it just shows you how important depth is and the talent that you have in your second and third string. You need those guys. And this is why Kirby likes to play as many freshmen as he can against these early cupcake teams on the season, because that is going to help them down the road when you have to play these young guys, because you're getting a little banged up. But right now, you want to get as healthy as you possibly can. Auburn's around the corner. That's never an easy place to play. Kentucky plays tough. That's never an easy game, or not normally, right?
No.
Got to get healthier, Dean. And right now, like you said, they're about as banged up as they've been in a long, long time.
Yeah, very banged up. And, you can read this over on Dog Post, everything Kirby said on Monday. We do that every single day. We have what Kirby says, what he's talking about. Make sure you're checking out our friends at EcoPoly. 15% off. Check out this pool. It's what Matt's pool looks like in the backyard with all the EcoPoly gear in the background. They got it's everything, eco-friendly products, 20-year warranty, UV protection, made in the United States. It's really great quality. Please consider it when you are changing your backyard. And congratulations on your success. I think the big thing to me, Matt, is that you don't want it to add up so much, these injuries, that they do sideline a season just because one person's out. I mean, I've said for years now, and it's true not just for it's true at Georgia. No one player is that important at Georgia that they gotta have that one player, but you don't want to lose like 5 that one players. I mean, you're already missing Mims, you're already missing Ladd, you're already you hadn't had Edwards. Say that again.
Two tight ends, Pierce Spurlin and Lawson Lucky, are both out. If anything happens to Brock Bowers, who is not 100%, Dean. Nope. I mean, I haven't seen him 100% all year. If something happens to him or Oscar Delp, I don't know where that second tight end is coming from that they use a lot, but you got to get healthier before you get more banged up. Now, I kind of cut you off there. Keep going. You seem like you're on. Yeah.
Well, I just, I don't think you're saying anything that's dissimilar to what I'm trying to articulate. And the but here is that they are quite deep. Whenever I look at the board, they have multiple place kickers. They have a lot of stuff. They are thin at tight end. Right now they have 4 scholarship tight end players. That's not a lot, and the 2 young guys are hurt. On the offensive line, they have 17 scholarship guys by my math. Dylan Fairchild came in and played quite a bit. That lineup did not look that bad. You saw it from up top. Comments?
Yeah, we've seen I'm blanking on the other kid's name. Jared Wilson has played some. Austin Blaski's also. Lindbergh, I think, has played a little bit.
At tight end. As their jumbo package tight end guy. Yep.
Yeah. Cooper Johnson is a walk-on tight end from West Forsyth who played with Oscar, who's on the roster. Big kid, but you definitely want those young kids back.
Was
But
that was it was Fairchild, not Freeling, who was out there, right?
Dylan Fairchild was out there. I think he was at right guard.
He was, but did
Might have
Freeling
been
play?
left guard because I think Xavier Price was right tackle when Amarius got hurt.
So the point is, I think generally speaking, we got Ernest Green playing. They have options still, but you want your best. If you have your best, not just 44. I think you need your best 50-ish players to win the national championship, to be healthy or relatively healthy. And if you have that, you're in good position. But the fact of the matter is, and we've seen this with over time, whether you're talking about Aaron Murray, Shock, I mean, guys get hurt. Craig Lumpkin, Todd Gurley, Keith Marshall, Isaiah, guys get hurt. They're gonna get hurt, and you have to have the depth. If you're trying to win the national championship, Ryan, C.J. Stroud could have gotten hurt last year for Ohio State. Marvin Harrison got knocked out of a game by Javon Bullard, and now, we've been led to believe that that's what cost Ohio State the national championship. But the fact of the matter is that they didn't have someone to come in and replace him that was good enough. Their offense basically stopped at that point. It was slowing down, but it stopped. Georgia can't have that. It's September. They're going to have to get through this. And again, here's what Kirby said. I want you to react to this one thing. Kirby said, he goes, he led with this. Well, he talked about, Georgia being a top 20 public again, which it should be, frankly. But he said, Ron Corson, who is Georgia's medical person and has been forever, informed me that we have the longest injury list we've ever had since being here, Matt.
Yeah. How does that get better? What do you have to do? What do you have to change? Do you have to practice with less intensity? Because I know Kirby doesn't want to do that, but at the end of the day, you got to look inside your program and say, okay, what's going on? Is this just a lot of coincidences, or can we do something to not have this continue? And a lot of it's on offense. Those are the guys that are getting hit, right? The running backs, the tight ends, the receivers, the offensive line. I think I don't want to say they're fairly healthy defensively, but they're a lot healthier on defense than they are on offense. But we've seen this program or this team win a national championship without arguably their best player on offense, which was George Pickens. I know he came back at the end of the year, made a couple catches, a big one in that national championship game. But, you see how he is now, and he is a game changer. Yeah. And they didn't have him for basically that entire 21 season, but the depth and the talent made up for it. And you had freshmen like Ladd McConkey making plays that year. Guys have to step up, and they're going to have to step up. Now, Cash Jones has stepped up, and we've seen Dylan Fairchild step up. Number of guys have kind of filled in, if you want to say that, for Ladd McConkey. There's still plenty of receivers out there, but you don't want another lineman to go down. But, Brock Bauer, Cedric Van Pran, Carson Beck, those are the guys that Dajan Edwards, he's a game changer as well, as we saw last week. Got to keep those key guys as healthy as possible.
So if you don't like hearing my old stories, you can change the channel. But we were too rough when we played basketball in college. Our team was too rough. We just were too physical during practice. Coach, years later, while he was still coaching, said, I learned we went too hard, basically. I was like, well, thanks, But we got tired at the end of years. Our practices didn't slow down. Coach probably could have backed away a little bit, but I think Kirby and them have more data now than we ever had. We got our game notes handwritten from Coach. So this is a digital operation up there. They know the speed at which these guys are running. They know when to slow it down. They know when to go indoors. There's no metric they don't have. And I think, to me, Matt, I don't think you should change. I think in terms of, I don't think you change how you practice. I think the length at which you practice that way, maybe. But I will say, this is not about, sort of doubting Kirby or questioning Kirby or anything like that. I think it's actually the complete opposite. I think they know exactly what they're doing up there. I don't think it's all circumstantial or, coincidence. But there are ways to adjust this too. He said multiple times. Here's my example of that. He said multiple times this season, if Edwards could have if we needed Edwards, we would have played him. Well, they needed him Saturday, and he played. And I would say that's the best example of this. Go ahead.
I'm not sure how much we're going to see out of him out of UAB. I don't know what percentage he's at as far as being close to 100%, because it still doesn't feel like he's 100%. But I think UAB is going to be very similar to Cupcake 1 and 2, UT Martin, Ball State. I kind of almost forgot at this point, but see those young guys in there. See those freshmen. Put the game away early. This is another just kind of high-volume scrimmage, basically. You want to get your key guys healthy, and you do that by not playing them against UAB and the Fighting Trent Dilfers out there. It's not going to be a game. Get those young guys in, get them experience, because you're obviously going to need it, especially if even more guys go down. Still early in the season. They still haven't even come across SEC play. It's crazy to think that they are going to get healthier without losing some other guys, right? Injuries are going to keep happening. Got to get those young kids in there to get some experience.
And I'll wrap by saying this too. The guy that's been banged up the most, Kendall Milton, over time, I don't think people should give up on him for this season at all. I think that what you really want if you're Georgia is for each, not every single time, but you have 9 games left. Let's just say 8 because the UAB no. But you have 8 games left. And of those 8 games, can any particular person or unit dominate the game? Can you steal 2 games with Kendall Milton going for 100? Can you steal 2 games with Bowers getting 100? Can the defense just totally dominate for 3 games? Well, if you do all of that, that's the point of Ladd and Edwards and Dominic Lovett and all of these they have playmakers. Kendall, Dejon Edwards, Rosemary Jackson. I mean, there's a lot of guys. Everyone doesn't have to be completely on every single game. But I am concerned about the injuries, and I think that other team. It is across college football, man. People are banged up. Look at South Carolina. One of the 2 guys that scored a touchdown for them is banged up too. So it's tough out there. But winning national championships, winning conference championships, that's never easy. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.